Welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone. It is now past 7 in the a.m. and time for us to have our first discussion of the morning. We are right now about to welcome Mark Natama, who is an Indonesian singer who has recently released his brand new single entitled Berlabuh. Mark, welcome to the studio.
Good morning, Mark.
Here.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Now, first of all, congratulations on the release of your latest single called Berlabuh. And it is marked as your
My fourth single,
fourth single in your music career. Now, in the song, you mentioned the word ship. Now, if you can describe your new song as a ship, what kind of ship would that be? A relationship?
Could be actually. Nice pun.
Thank you.
It's definitely not a shipwreck, I hope.
Okay.
What I was trying to say with this song is I took ship as a metaphor to describe a journey that one should go through in order for us to find love.
Okay.
And the journey between every one of us is kind of different, right? The amount of waves and the storm and the weather.
Oh.
So I think this ship and the sailing kind of illustrates how my journey was and still is in finding love.
Okay.
I mean, through many storm and waves, I still am optimistic that I would soon find someone that is, you know, the one for me.
Right.
And when you're in a ship out in the ocean,
Romantic.
it's uncertain, isn't it? Like it's unmapped and uncharted, so you don't really know where, unless you're on a cruise ship.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a different story.
Most of the time, it's up and down.
Well, this
right?
ship is definitely not a cruise ship. I think it's like a boat.
It's a boat. It's a rowboat.
It's a long journey. So you talk about love as a celebration through your music. Is this from personal experience, and what is it that exactly you want to share with your listeners through this?
The thing is, I'm proudly a Bataknese, and with that comes a great responsibility in you know, making sure that the one that I choose to be a partner in my life conforms with, you know, all of the rules and
The same beliefs and the same
Right.
values, right? Yes, I've heard of this as well.
Yeah, and I think nowadays it's very hard to find, especially now that I live in Jakarta.
Right.
I don't have that many friends that you know, suits in that
That fits
area.
that same right mold.
So it's been a struggle for me, and I know that I'm still young. I'm still 22, and every time I tell this story, people say to me, "Man, you're still 22."
Oh, you have plenty of time.
Right.
Paul would tell you that.
That's an old man talking.
But in this industry that we, you know, work on, it tends to be, we feel lonesome often, and I just, you know, sometimes I just wish that I have this one companionship that is always there for me. You know, I always have my
Right.
parents and my family,
Yeah.
but there's this one place in my heart that cannot be fulfilled with anyone else
it's
besides.
a different kind of love.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Some of my friends sometimes refer to me jokingly, or I don't know, maybe not jokingly, as a bucin,
Yeah.
budak cinta.
Yes, you are. A simp.
A slave to love. Yes, exactly, a simp. But again, when it comes to music like this, you are being vulnerable.
Yeah.
What's your perspective when it comes to being a bucin? Like, is that an okay thing? Because to me, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, like, would you be a proud bucin? I know
I
you
think
are.
it has something to do with the fact that, again, I'm a Batak guy.
Right.
And, you know, I have this denial side of me that, you know, a man should not be vulnerable. When it comes to love, you have to be, like, as confident as you can. And I know that is a little bit toxic if I say it
It's
out
more
loud.
of an old school way of thinking,
Right.
I think, right? Traditional way.
And I was not born and raised in a family that is, you know, our love language in my house is not like words of affirmation. We don't say I love you
Right.
every day, but we show it by
Your action.
action and you can say act of service. And so
Right.
I think with this song, I challenge myself to be more open and sort of more honest in what are the things that I look in love, what are the things that I look in a woman. And I was afraid at first to be this honest because actually this is my first song that I have ever written and released. Back then, my first 3 singles were produced and written by Laila El-Manino, so I have them as my backup.
Right.
You know, I have them. So yeah.
Kind of flying solo on,
Right.
on your, like you're taking
Right.
the
All
lead in
you.
this one,
Right.
right?
Now, with that being said, you know, I mean, you've just now explained how mature and how vulnerable you can be when it comes to love. I mean, it's not easy to write something as beautiful as this. Maybe can you share with us a little bit what or who inspired you to do this? And how long did it take for you to create such a masterpiece?
So the night when I decided to finally write something about this is when actually I'm at my lowest point of my life. I just broke up with this girlfriend that we've been going out for a few months. And I thought that she was the one because, you know, speaking of, she is Batak.
Seems to fit.
She checks all the all
boxes.
the tick lists.
My mom's boxes, actually.
Right.
And turns out that there are other boxes that are not, you know, that does not appear to me at first.
Right.
And then as our relationship goes, oh no, she's actually not like this and that. So we decided to break it off. And then I thought to myself, why on earth would I be this unlucky when my friends are able to maintain and sustain their relationship? I have so many friends that up until now, ever since high school, and now we have graduated from college, university, they are still together.
Yeah.
But I can't seem to manage a relationship. My longest relationship is a year and 7 months.
A year, 7 months. Okay.
So I thought to myself, am I unable to love? Am I immune to be loved and to love?
Yeah.
That kind of thinking, shallow
Right.
thinking. And I needed something to really pump me up, and this song gave me a sense of opportunism that, you know, maybe my relationship haven't worked, but it doesn't mean that it won't work in the future.
Right.
So yeah, I think,
Yeah.
I hope this song can also relate to my listeners and give them a strength.
I think everything that you've experienced is something that many people experience, but just in different times of their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that timing is everything when it comes to relationships.
Right.
Yep.
You meet somebody at a certain point in your life, you could be perfect together, but at a wrong timing, it could
Yeah.
just not be time for you guys to be together. So looking at that, and also looking back at, you mentioned earlier before we came on air that you took part in a national singing competition that we were all very familiar with, but that was during the COVID-19 pandemic. So not only did you experience ups and downs in your personal life, but in your career as well. How do you think that has affected your approach in the way you produce music now and the stuff that you really want to put out there?
My friends and I, we like to joke around and say that we are musicians that were born during the pandemic labor. In terms of...
Pandemic baby singer.
Yep. We weren't able to, you know, meet our fans and have any sort of interaction during the competition.
That was
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, we were isolated, though it is a quarantine after all. But
Right.
those kind of interaction is what we missed out on. And now when we are actually making a name for ourselves in the industry, we always look up to the every moments that we get to, you know, perform live in front of
Actual
In front of
people.
actual people.
And actually, one of the things that I like every time I get to meet them is not particularly when I'm singing, but
Right.
when I talk in the middle of transitioning between songs.
Yes.
That way I can, you know, show them my personality and show them the funny side of me, the serious side of me,
Right.
and they get to know me on a different level, not just an idol and fans.
Right.
I like to
Right.
call them marcas, by the way. That is
That's
the
nice.
community.
Like it.
And I always like to position myself as their friend
Yeah.
because all they do is the same with my family. They support me, they pray
Right.
for me, they listen to my
Right.
songs, even more often than my family do. So, yeah.
That's true. So you're very well spoken, by the way. Like
Yeah.
22 going.
I was not that
Going on
well-spoken at
42.
22.
perhaps. Now, one of the people that you work with is actually a good friend of mine, Kenny Gabriel.
Yeah.
He's a renowned music producer for many, many musicians as well, and he performs amazingly live. So if you ever perform with him live as well, it's just the whole show within itself. How would you? What have you learned from him? Because he's not a particularly older person. He's actually quite a young musician, but
Yeah.
he has so much experience.
Right.
What have you absorbed from him throughout the process of being together?
One of the things that I like about him is, and please, I hope that no one gets me wrong when I say this, that he hates the industry. So he hates how the industry works nowadays.
I know what you mean.
And so I find a resemblance in his way of thinking, and I thought to myself, it would be fun and it would be interesting if we can cook up something together. And so I talked to my label, and I wanted to produce something by myself, but I didn't have the knowledge that is strong enough to back me up by myself. So we decided to work together, and he has helped me so much. And I agree with you, he performs live very, very awesomely.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy, and I think I would say that he's every musician's favorite musician. Like maybe fans, general fans, may not have always been familiar with the name, but you ask any musician, they know because he's always part of a lot of live.
He's a genius, yeah.
Amazing. Well, Mark, you mentioned earlier that you're very close to family, to traditions. And your last name is Saragi, is that right?
Right.
Right. Now, can you maybe sing your favorite Batak song for your family and the citizens and the markas at home?
Yeah, just a little bit.
So this is actually a love song, not really, not particularly the typical song that I gravitate towards, but it's one of my first Batak song that I've learned.
Okay.
It's called Sai Anju Maaw. I think you guys might have heard this.
Let's hear it.
Molo adon salah manang hurang. Wait, I actually forgot the lyrics.
I'm not even captivated by your voice. I haven't even.
Anju Maaw, Sai Anju Maaw, ito hasian. So ito hasian is how you call baby in Batak. Ito hasian, so
he could have been making up words, and I would still not.
It sounds great. By the way, you know more about that than us. Anyway, so your new single is now out. It's available on all digital platforms. So guys, whether you are markas or not, you will be if you hear his music. Make sure you check out Mark Natama's latest single, Berlabu. Mark, look at that. We have a mic in front of us.
Ooh,
That's
you know what that means.
You know that means we have just enough time for a special performance. So once again, thank you for joining us this morning. Please do go ahead and take the stage. In the meantime, we'd like to remind you all to please check out Mark Natama's new single entitled Berlabu. Once again, without any further ado, this is Mark Natama.
Aku dan kerasnya kepalaku, dan juga dengan besarnya egoku, yang kian halangi aku temukan cinta itu. Yeah. But baby, when you came into my life, never once you ever did me wrong. You're the very first who managed to see through it all. Yeah. Kian lama kapalku berlayar, berlabuh di dasar hatimu. Hanya kamu yang buatku percaya. Ku rasakan cinta and be loved again. Oh, oh baby, you're the one. Cintamu tak terkira. Hanya kamu yang bisa runtuhkan tembokku. Kamu juga yang runtuhkan egoku. Kau pertanyaan bisa temukan cinta itu. Oh, kian lama kapalku berlayar, berlabuh di dasar hatimu. Hanya kamu yang buatku percaya. Aku rasakan cinta, be loved again. Oh, oh baby, you're the one. Cintamu tak terkira. Kau mampu lihat lebih jauh, melampaui semua kekuranganku. Kau bicarakanku. Cara untuk mencinta, I'll make love to you like you want me to, and I'll hold you tight, baby, all through the night. I'll make love to you. Oh baby, you're the one. Cintamu tak terkira. Oh baby, you're the one. Oh kamu, hanya kamu, baby, you're the one. Yeah, oh baby, you're the one. Cintamu tak terkira.